Another day, another dollar. This week, I got to sit down with Noah Pim, who I met this summer at summer camp. Noah is a low-key human being. He likes to move with the motion of the ocean. He was born and raised in Kilkenny, Ireland, and he decided to abandon the cheese, the clubs, and the sheep to spend his summer in Canada for some reason. A little more about Noah. He's currently studying a Bachelor of Science in Geography and Geoscience at Trinity College, Dublin. He's an elite rugby player and an overall insane athlete. This guy looks like he could squat a punch buggy, bro. He's the public relations officer for Trinity Surf Club. The guy likes his water. He's a huge music buff and has really good music tastes. And he's also a radicalized not just bikes enthusiast and an avid cyclist. Noah's just a really cool dude. For the last 2 weeks of his trip to Canada this summer, he just acquired a van and went surfing in Tofino at in BC, and he was just jumping in the water for 2 weeks. It was awesome. Noah talked about the differences between Western and Irish lifestyles, the influence of music and nature on who he is as a human being, as well as his affinity for rocks. We sat down and talked for an hour and a half, so there's going to be a Patreon exclusive episode for those of you who decide to support the show. Noah, it was a privilege being able to learn from you and get to know you this summer, and I really hope we get to reconnect at some point in the future. And for those of you listening, I hope you enjoy this week's episode of What Makes You Happy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're international. We are no longer just talking to Canadians. We get to meet some wonderful people. Just a little background. I'm spending my entire summer in the woods, somewhere out at a camp in K Country. And I think we have 17 members of international staff on our staff team. So the first one, obviously right here with me, is my friend Noah. I've only known Noah coming 4 weeks, so I'm getting to know him as well as you guys are while we go through this process. Is there anything you want to say right off the bat, Noah, other than introducing yourself?
Not massively. What's up? My name's Noah. I'm from Ireland.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, long way away from home, but yeah, no, excited to sit down and get to chat with Keaton.
I genuinely appreciate you taking the time. If at any point you get sick of answering questions about Ireland, you need to understand that I know absolutely nothing.
I'm all for it. I'm glad to share.
That's good. I'm glad. Okay, so yesterday, Noah and a couple of other co-counselors decided not to get any sleep. How long were you up, consecutively?
So we woke up Friday morning, 6:30, because we were out tripping. We were up on one of the hills.
Yeah.
Got off work, and then we were like, sweet. We went to a taco place.
Mm-hmm.
Then we came back and just did not go to sleep. And we left here for Lake Moraine at 2 o'clock, 2 a.m.
Right.
And got there for 4:30.
Watched the sunrise.
Watched the sunrise at Lake Moraine, which is
Okay.
nothing like that where I'm from.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say.
At all.
Have you? I don't actually know much about Lake Moraine. That's not too far from where we're at, right? It's in K Country.
It's in Banff. So
okay.
I think it's 20 minutes, 30 minutes outside Banff.
Okay.
Don't call me on that. But yeah, no, it's crazy. Big, great glaciated valley. I don't know. The lakes are blue as hell.
Yeah.
There because of all the silica and stuff from the rocks.
Yeah. I
do geoscience, so if you hear me chatting about rocks a lot, that's why.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
man. It's gonna be sick.
That was a cool place geologically. I was annoyed by their informational signs at the things because they were the most dumbed down things I've ever seen. It was it's one of the lakes, one of the signs in front of the lake. I thought it was going to tell us about how this formed or whatever, but it literally said 15,000 years ago this place looked very different, full stop. And it said the colour of this lake is blue and chalky. Didn't say why, just full stop. I was like, come on, teach the people. I thought that's what these signs are here for.
That's hilarious. You're expecting the primary literature, man. I don't know. I think it's very interesting because for me, like I know a lot of Canadians who do really care. Like for example, there's this thing in the Crow's Nest Pass called the Frank Slide, and it was this huge avalanche of rocks that literally covered a town.
Oh,
and
I think somebody mentioned this to me.
On their informational board, it'll tell you about the town, where it was formed, and what happened. But I don't know. For me, I don't see a large portion of the general populace being too interested. But you being in geoscience, man, like I think it's so interesting. I'm going to be asking you a bunch of questions about that if you're comfortable.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I heard about that slide before from somebody. They said that the First Nations had warned them, don't build the town there because the mountain moves. They built the town there anyway, and the mountain moved, covered the town. So
yeah, bro, it's crazy how the people who are native to the land might have a good idea of what's going to happen. But no, let's not listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So I was actually in the kitchen last week. Noah, you were out tripping all week, so you were living in a tent up at, it's like a 5-10 minute walk from our base camp.
Yeah, 15-20.
Yeah.
25 with kids. But.
And it was quite the eventful week. Multiple bear spottings.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was first for me. I saw a bear this week. Don't have those in Ireland. No large predators in Ireland. Yeah, so I was the person who spotted it.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking up to the campsite and saw some big shadow move. Like I was like complete autopilot walking up the hill. Usually I would have a bit of awareness about me, but then I had my head down and for some reason I just looked up the hill and I saw the back end of something like scurry off.
Yeah.
And it was dark and it was big and it was black.
But you don't say that.
I was like, okay. I know there's a lot of deer that live around here.
Right.
Maybe that was a deer just in a shadow.
And the deer that live around here do get big, so that's a valid concern.
Yeah, and so went up, met the other counsellors, and was like, I'm not too comfortable with that. So I went down with one of the other counsellors, and we took the bear spray, and we looked. There was actually no shadows there, broad daylight. Mm-hmm. So we were like, okay, let's just get the kids down, whatever. Brought the kids down to the main camp, and then I went up with some of the senior staff. And we did a little check and we found some scat and some dig sites and they were like, yep, there's definitely a bear around here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, the whole new fear added to the
Okay, so I was going to say, how did that make you feel, bro?
Just a little sketched out. Like I know there's obviously bears around here.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it'll be fine. The chances of a bear encounter are so slim.
Yeah.
One where it actually, I don't know,
and
escalates
exactly.
So.
We've been trained at least on a base level of how to deal with it. And you went down your checklist. You called the people who could deal with this situation.
Yeah.
And it's not like the bears are just walking through our main camp. You know, like they don't. Well, okay. Listen, knock on wood. Hopefully, it doesn't happen.
Not this year.
Yeah.
Not this year. It happened last year. A few times by a few accounts, but
I don't know. That's the price you pay when you're living in the woods. To be honest.
To get to experience this kind of, I don't know, this kind of landscape and nature, it's one thing you have to just be more aware about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about Ireland. You can just go hiking and just not worry about a thing.
Just in general, for me, our training experience, like I didn't feel underprepared at all. You know, there was. For me, it's different though. I've been working with kids since I was 15. You know, this is a part of my process. But we sat there. We had a whole wildlife session. An hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes. We had a whole industrial, like how to operate in an industrialized kitchen session, an hour, 45 minutes, you know. I thought some of the staff training that I've been through before has been like chewing on glass.
Yeah, so that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I staff training week was definitely interesting, definitely learned a lot, but that first week when they're like, here's 8 children. It is kind of like, oh, now we're actually doing it. Okay.
Yeah, you get thrown in the flame very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you can speak to your experience with it, but I think for me, the biggest thing is camps meant so much to me when I was growing up. And I don't know if you guys have things like this in Ireland, but
Not
being
at all.
able to provide that for the kids, it's like, I understand all of this is scary, but like, we're in this together.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't really have. There's absolutely nothing like this. Right
Okay.
now. Nothing. So those first couple nights where we did like campfire songs, people are happy clappy. That was like, oh wow, a little culty, but I know.
A little culty, he says.
It was. We're chilling. It's not a cult. I can confirm that.
No,
Or maybe I've just been brainwashed.
But I get exactly what you mean. I also think that being in the woods, surrounded by this many good people, like, it does something to you.
Yeah. Far away.
So, for those of you who may be tuning in for the first time, the way we do this at What Makes You Happy, we've got 3 main questions to keep the episode structured, but wherever we go from there, that's entirely up to Noah, because this episode is about Noah and his experience, so I'm gassed. So the first question I have for you, brother, when it comes to your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual or your emotional health, what makes you happy? You can answer 1, you can answer 2, you can answer all 3 of them. It's up to you.
I might buddy some of them up into the same one.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously all kind of coincide with each other. But I don't know. Number 1, when I see the word physical health, I obviously just like exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Like I play rugby.
Mm-hmm.
That takes up so much of my time back home, but I'm very grateful for it because sometimes I could be having a bad week, but am I allowed to swear in this?
Yeah, you're allowed to do whatever you want.
Yeah, I could be having a shit week, but I don't know, that structure of getting up every morning for gym and then having practice in the evening, like you're exercising, that's not only good for your physical health but ties into your mental health
Mm-hmm.
as well, because that routine is always welcome. Spiritually, see, I would not consider myself a particularly spiritual person, whether that comes to like Christianity or I don't know. I was raised Quaker.
Okay, I have
Which
no
is-
clue what that means,
so
other than the
Quaker-
oats, bro.
Yeah, so we're related to the oats, kind of. It's called like Society of Friends.
Okay.
Sounds so culty. Just wait. I'm really grateful for it because it was like, it is I think, so in Ireland mainly people are Protestant or Catholic,
Okay.
and Quaker kind of lies bang smack in the middle. We don't do much at all, so we don't have priests. We just have, and every week a different person leads the, I don't know, service or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so like then one person is no closer to God, or
Right.
and you all sit in a circle.
I like that a lot, to be honest.
So we're all just very relaxed. The whole thing is that you're meant to be accepting and open to literally anything. We don't impose any beliefs or anything is right or wrong. We're just kind of chilling, which I like.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
But I went to a Protestant school just because it was the one nearby. It was the one that had the best rugby. But yeah, then I was like, I don't really follow that because there's some aspects of Christianity that I'm like,
Got some questions about.
got some questions about and don't really understand.
Mm-hmm.
And I've one super Christian friend. She's like had long conversations about it. I still just can't really
Yeah.
get behind some of it. But then I was like, maybe I'm spiritual, and I was like, couldn't really find anything. But I'd say the thing that makes me happy in the most spiritual sense is just like going out in nature and then realizing how little we are and
Exactly.
how much is
Getting humbled.
provided for us is probably, I don't know, keeps it connected to actually the actual real world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so before, if you want to, you delve into the mental health, the physical stuff. I'd like you to talk a little bit more about your rugby experience, because I genuinely don't know what that even looks like. I have a friend who's at U Ottawa for rugby, and like that's a Canadian experience, and it's also in university.
Okay.
But also, I want to ask you a question. You say the structure, having gym in the morning, having that 2-hour practice every day. I agree with you, because it was like I knew when my physical stuff was going to happen. For example, at camp, like this whole summer, so far I've just felt in a tizzy because I've got my class to get through every single day. I want to do a workout every single day. And then, like, you don't have the time because I'm getting paid to do a job which involves kids. And, gosh, we're on the clock from 8 a.m. to midnight every single day.
Yep.
So, do you think that the structure of the exercise is that important to you, that it happens every single day at the same time if possible? Or is it just like that guarantee that you have that time to sweat and work on yourself?
So I like ticking the box, like, yeah, I've done something for the day.
Yeah.
Usually, so like gym takes place in the morning. It's just like you're in there with the rest of the team.
Right.
But generally I like having some sort of structure, just so I know that's there, and then I know how to plan my day around it, because I don't have a super fixed schedule at school.
Right.
It's kind of loose, but yeah, I don't know. I like getting it out of the way in the morning, but I would agree with you here, not like having those slots where it's like concrete. I can do that then because something will come up.
Exactly.
Like, we know that now. Something will get in the way of you trying to have free time. Yeah, it gets a little frustrating, but no, it's fine in general.
Well, I mean, we make the best out of it, right?
Yeah.
And we can get in there, but I don't know. I think the only other thing is I talked to this guy a couple of episodes ago named Will, and he said something along the same lines about how he doesn't really see himself identifying with any type of religious denomination or whatever, but he does feel as though the natural world is spiritual for him. And the class that I'm taking right now has described the natural world as the book of God's works. So the Bible is the book of God's words, which is interested in like the how our processes work, and the natural world, the book of God's works, those are the physical processes. And you don't need to attach any type of denomination to it, but I think you would be inclined to agree that your spirituality is connected to our place on the planet.
Yeah.
And I think that's really beautiful, because my one friend asked me, like, those individual recycling and composting that we do, does it make a huge difference? On a large scale, probably not. But if we don't do it, then who's going to?
Yeah, that's kind of, that's a dilemma I struggle with a lot, is the, I don't know, personal responsibility is like, we are literally, I don't know, to take the example of like switching to a plant-based diet. That would make, I think it's 0.0 and then 9 to 10 zeros, 3, and then 0.3 of a difference in terms of things. And it's like, that is mathematically zero when it comes to like statistics.
Yeah.
So it's something to grapple with, but literally, if you're not going to do it, who will? And you're setting the example for other people as well. But yeah, I don't know. The natural world is something we have to be. We only have one planet. We only have one planet. Will you please just take care of it?
Yeah.
If you're, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's interesting, and I love hearing that people say, well, it's fine, we're just going to colonize Mars, or we're just going to colonize X, Y, or Z.
No.
If we kill the Earth, why do we deserve another one?
Yeah.
That, like, what?
We're not going to colonize. It's going to be the 1%.
Exactly.
Get out there and,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
leave us behind.
Is there anything that you want to say when it comes to your mental health?
Mental health? I don't know. Still figuring a lot of that stuff out.
Yeah, but, day at a time.
What makes me happy in terms of that? I don't know. I've got a really good group of friends back home that I'm very grateful for.
You can plug your DJ friend right now. Go ahead.
DJ friend?
Any of them.
Well, my friends make music. They're insane. Paddy and Ben, a band called 49th and Main. They just released an album. Must be nice. They're unreal.
Yeah.
But they're so good. Really happy. Really proud of them. Seeing them. They're doing it big. I don't know.
That's
playing
good.
Festivals. They just played Glastonbury, if anybody knows what that is over here.
Yeah.
It's like our Coachella, kind of, except a bit more grimy.
Good for them. Congratulations. Holy.
Yeah. Very proud of them. They're my brother's best friends, so I've known them a long time. But yeah, very proud of them.
But would you say that it's the relationship that you have with these two that is supplementing, like keeping your mental health in order, or do you think it's like in general forming those relationships with new people?
Yeah, so those guys, they're not my they wouldn't be in my immediate friend group. They
Right.
are in my brother's immediate friend group. Who
Okay,
I
okay.
interact with on that kind of weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
They're great dudes, but my friend group, it is probably just, I don't know, we don't even need to talk a lot of the time about how we're doing mentally, but we do. We've gotten a lot better at that recently,
That's good.
which I'm very grateful for. But like, those conversations only ever happen as needed, which isn't that often. And when we are, we're all just so aware because we've all had our own struggles.
Yeah, bro.
But I don't know, I just like hanging out with my friends. It keeps me happy. I'm a very simple man.
That's okay,
Very
man.
simple answers.
That's what makes the world a beautiful place, bro.
Yeah.
Not everybody can just spew like I do, so.
Yeah, but I don't really do it this summer. I've just started like journaling, but I was hoping to see more results there. But I know I'm just gonna stick at it and see if it makes any difference.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's made a load because I don't know. I think about the stuff anyway. I don't really need to see it on paper, but I imagine it will. It'll bear its fruits at some stage.
Yeah.
But listening to music as well, just I don't know. It was a whole.
We could talk about this for hours,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know. Just being able to zone out to a piece of work that either zone out to it or like listen intently to something that you can relate to.
Yeah.
Like to a T. That is
Yeah.
one of the most comforting things ever, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nothing else majorly. that
Well,
can
I
think
mean,
of.
to be fair, you're only 20, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just turned 20.
You have at least 3 or 4 things that you've just told me that you use to regulate yourself. And I think as a person, if you can add one new healthy regulation method a year,
Yeah.
you should be fine. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I think the biggest problem with people is that, in general, including myself, this is just a generalized statement, we try and make these goals that are like astronomical. And it's like, I want to see these results tomorrow. But I've had a few people come up to me at camp, and one person specifically where I've literally wrote down, if you run, get your heart rate up to the point where you feel like you're going to die, and that's for lack of a better term. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So if you do that 3 times a week and take care of yourself, you stretch, do whatever mobility you need to do, you'll be seeing changes in a month, and you'll be a different person in 2 months.
Especially as a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hardest, I don't know. You say like get your heart rate up to you feel like at the point where you're gonna die. That is like terrifying for a beginner.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends who have kind of tried to coach through stuff. And they're like, is this what it's like all the time?
Mm-hmm.
It is definitely at the beginning, but like you're gonna love it at the beginning because you're gonna see so many results.
Yeah.
It's those newbie gains.
And also, like, I don't know, for me, I like that you also like your lifts first thing in the morning, because it's like I've done the hardest thing that I've done all day. Every other problem I'm going to run into is inconsequential.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not even, the lifts aren't even the hardest thing. It's getting out of bed. And
Exactly.
getting to the gym.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good at it. I can roll out of bed and be in complete autopilot and cycle to the gym.
Yeah.
Wake up when I get there.
That's good. That's good. And honestly, bro, I think we're definitely going to have to take a point to talk about music before we get into the second question. So, you tell me how you see it. There is music, especially now, our generation. Like, come on, I've made music. You know, Harry makes good music, but I've made music. The fact that I can sit down, buy all these things for my podcast, and use it to make a song, anybody can put anything out into the world. So there's music where you're trying to make money, where you're trying to get to the top of the charts. And then there's people who are putting their heart and soul into a piece of art. Like that new Kendrick album that came out, front to back. I don't care if you don't think it's full of club bangers. Not you specifically.
Yeah.
You generally. It's a piece of art about his life, front to back. You can listen to it anywhere. You can start anywhere. And you're learning more about who Kung Fu Kenny is. And I think that's one of the most incredible things in the world, because nobody understands how vulnerable music is until you try and do it.
Oh, for sure. Like, I could not imagine, first of all, sitting down and writing something, and then having to, like, I don't know, arrange stuff around it, and then release it for other people to hear. I don't know, it's something so personal.
And then you take people's criticism. Like, could you imagine being like Kendrick Lamar, releasing music very, very few times over this what is the word I'm looking for? A period of like 4 years. You release it. Obviously, you have the people who love you and who cherish you, who are supporting you. That's fine. But then you have, say, 60% of the population. Half of them are 300 pounds sitting in their basement. Yeah. This is garbage. Why did you release this? I miss the old Kendrick. What does that mean?
Yeah. Or 13-year-old Timmy who has never had a life experience. Like, what does it even mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. People suck. People do suck. They have, like, I don't know. It's not that difficult to look at something like as a piece of work rather than like, obviously I think all the Kendrick album sounds good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, there's one song where we cried together. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just because there's people yelling at each other, I find it difficult to listen to that. But
Fair
I
enough.
understand it serves its purpose within that album.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I find it hard to listen to, but it serves a purpose.
And there's people who enjoy it. My best friend Emma, that's her favorite song on the album. And like for me, because it connects to me, Father Time is my favorite song on the album.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just think everybody needs to take the time to appreciate what we have. Music is one of the only things that we produce as human beings that is, of course, it's reflected in the natural world, like whale songs and birds chirping, stuff like that. But we've taken it to another level, and it's one of the only things that I believe truly connects people. Music is supposed to bring us together, not divide us.
Yep, absolutely.
So the second question, Noah, what gets you through your worst days? But before you get into that, this can be a person, a place, a thing, just like any type of process that helps you regulate when you wake up and you're just like, I can't do today. I can't do today.
Its answer is probably going to come back to music, to be
honest. That's
okay.
Okay.
But I don't know. I have a few comfort albums that I can always bank on to make me feel even 1% better. Sometimes they can fix me like 100%. Other times they'll just like give me a little, that was nice. I get to zone out and chill to that. But I really like, putting in my earphones. I've had a tough day. Putting in my earphones and going for a cycle around Dublin. It's like being in a city, just being part of a city, just in a dark little. There's a nice little canal from. It's not lit up by street lights, but you can go by to see, I don't know, people doing their own thing, and just it's nice to people watch.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, album Blonde by Frank Ocean is very, very, very special place in my heart.
Yeah,
and it can, I don't know, it's my pick me up album, even though it's very, very sad.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Khaled, American Teen.
Yeah.
That summer when that came out, I basically drove. I was doing summer camps, either basketball or normal summer camps, a week at a time. So I was driving all over Alberta, and I don't know, I'm not American, but I was a teenager. And there's a few artists that I believe have the soul that they did in the 80s, like Bruno Mars, like Khaled, like Frank Ocean, like Giveon, and just being able to relish my emotions through somebody else and have their music validate my experience, that it changes everything for me.
There's nothing like it. You're like, oh, people feel like that too. Dope. I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, gets me through my worst days. Again, probably if I need to talk to my friends, I will talk to my friends. But I feel like I'm pretty good at sorting shit out in my own head.
Yeah.
Which obviously doesn't sound like the healthiest thing, but I think just thinking about what's got you upset, I can usually resolve it. Or if not, I'll just complain about it for a bit to my friends. Yeah, and I'm fine.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know, for me, like, I have so many thoughts that fly through my head throughout the day that putting it on paper, I don't usually journal, like, to think about the good things in my life. I would much rather just have those up here, easily accessible. But like, I like to rage journal because it's like, you take 5 minutes and you're like, what the fuck is going on? This person disrespected me. That person disrespected me. I'm a person. I may be 6'4" and 210 pounds, but every comment you make does cut a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being able to sort that, put it on paper and it's like, okay, Keaton, you feel that way. You're allowed to feel that way. You've sorted it out now. For me, that's the type of solace that I get from journaling. So I understand it doesn't work for everybody, but if it works for you to just sit on your bike and think about XYZ problems, who am I to tell you to change that?
Yeah, I don't know. When I have been journaling up to this point, I've been like skeptical to write some shit down because in case somebody reads that, they'll be like, "Ooh, what's going on there?" But I need to probably just write that stuff down anyway. But yeah, I don't know. That question.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one, but probably I don't know. I love surfing.
Okay.
But I don't get to do that
Nearly enough.
Or on my worst days. But it is one of my favorite things to do.
Have you or do you plan on going to BC at any point before you go back? Because you need to surf Tofino very badly.
Yeah, I really want to go there. So I'm planning when camp ends, I'm going to fly to Vancouver. My friend is doing a similar camp to this in Toronto. So we're going to meet up there and probably take a couple days in BC.
Word.
And then we're going to take a van and drive back to Calgary. One of our co-workers here is from that Tofino, that area, and she said that I should really make an effort to go there if I like surfing. So it's also like whenever you look up surfing in Canada, it's the only place that comes up. So yeah, there's a couple of, I know, there's a former WSL champion from there, World Surfing League from there. Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but yeah, looks beautiful as well. Really gonna try to get out there.
Honestly, man, one of the biggest things that I like hearing about, so if you want to speak to this, we're taking a little pivot, the geography differences and the infrastructure differences between our countries. So I've been talking to Noah. In Calgary, there's 1.7 million people. And like the amount of space that Calgary takes up, I don't know this for sure. I could completely be pulling this out of my butt. But I would say the land, Calgary and area, so including Airdrie, Okotoks, Chestermere, all these other outside cities, is bigger than Dublin.
Oh, for sure.
But we have 2 train lines that only service the city. And my mom works in transit, so I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty sure there's only upwards of 12 to 15 trains running at any time on both of these lines. And then I talk to you guys.
Yeah.
You take trains in between cities, in between countries, you take them in between towns all the time. If I wanted to get on the train in Calgary and go to Vancouver, that's going to cost me $1,000. Like doing that here is a luxury. What? You don't do that here, not anymore. So I just looked it up, and you can get a ticket from Calgary to Vancouver on the train for like $63. So I don't know what the hell I was talking about, but it wasn't the truth.
Goodness.
So I think it's very interesting.
Yeah. So Ireland's public transit is horrific by European standards.
Right.
So compared to here, oh my God, it seems like top tier. Like we have a pretty decent bus system. Like all of this, I am always campaigning for Dublin's system to get better because it's horrific by European standards, as I said. But it's something I'm very interested in because, as I said, I'm a cyclist, so I appreciate a good bike lane. Yeah. But I don't know. This place is just so car centric here. Everything is built around cars. Like you're walking around like this place is not designed for humans at all. No. It's designed for somebody sitting in a 2-ton vehicle. Yeah. Like your roads are just so wide. Everyone's driving massive 3-ton trucks, like just death machines. If that hits a pedestrian going 30 kilometers an hour, dead.
And I think it's very interesting because the feasibility of us all having electric cars in a country this big and this wide right now doesn't make sense. No. But if there isn't people like you, like me, who are advocating that we're doing this the wrong way, in my opinion.
Oh my, so wrong. So very wrong. It's not the public's fault. Like you've been brainwashed into like, I need my car. I can't do anything without a car. There is a lot of infrastructure in place that makes it more difficult. but
we got to take
my
the steps.
Yeah, like if you're not going to do it, who will?
And that's why I think, like, if you have copious sums of money, bro, you're entitled to that. And you're entitled to spend it however you want. You worked your ass off. There you go. You can do whatever you want with that money. But if you give a crap about anybody else, I learned in one of my Indigenous education courses this year that they have just a lesson, for lack of a better word, that every action that we take should be done for generations that are 7 generations in the future. And like, if you're thinking like that all the time, you throw a piece of paper on the ground, why? Go pick it up.
Yeah, somebody else has to deal with that.
It's so unnecessary. And it's like when I'm driving the Glacier Parkway and I see Tim Hortons cups on one of the whitest, just purest landscapes I've ever been in, it makes my blood boil. Because it's like, family, I don't want to pick up your garbage, but I'm going to, because I have the ethics for it, right?
I don't get how anybody thinks that kind of stuff is acceptable.
No.
Pristine environment, just not my problem.
Yeah.
Keep it in your car. Put it in a trash can. You're going to walk by one.
Exactly. If you say you care, you got to act like it in some form.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we'll probably end up coming back to the natural world a couple more times, but
I'm all for it.
one question I want to ask you, you're in geoscience, brother. Have you ever been in an active volcano? What did like your labs in university look like? What are we saying here?
No, never an active volcano, but there's still time for that.
Yeah.
Maybe. So I'm going into 3rd year now, so I'm like halfway through my degree.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations, big guy. That's huge.
Yeah, looking forward to it. This year, so like up to this, I was doing geography and geoscience.
Yeah.
I was specialising into geoscience for my 3rd and 4th year. But never been in an active volcano, but hopefully there'll be some field trips coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, this year is very lucky. We got to Trinity. We went on our the surf club. We went to Gran Canaria, which is a group of islands off the coast of Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an active or formerly active volcano on there. But there's all these volcanic beaches, so the sand is all black. And I don't know. I was geeking out. I geek out wherever I go.
Yeah,
There's cool
bro.
rocks. So yeah, being here in Alberta is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, seeing the Rockies just up there.
Yeah.
Like being at Lake Moraine yesterday, coming back to that, I was just like, all the people we were with, I was just boring them. I was just like, that's how that happened. This is how that happened. This rock is that's in that rock.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving the degree. It's great.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I think it's okay. And the fact that you're so passionate about it, don't ever apologize for that. I had this friend at Augustana, and every time me and my other friend that is in a Bachelor of Science would get together, like I love telling people the fact that like blue is like the least common, if not impossible to find naturally occurring color, unless we're talking about lapis or topaz, you know. So Skittles or Starburst or whatever, everything that's artificially colored blue, that is like ground up beetle or butterfly wings that have been processed and made food safe. And everybody's like, oh, it's so much fun partying with bio majors. Sorry that I love my world, man.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say to you.
I don't know, it's wild. Blue's a weird color. Those blue popsicles, gross. So the day, I'll get this off, the day blue raspberry flavor is eradicated from this planet is the day I'll know peace, because it is gross. Raspberries aren't even blue.
Interesting.
Just
okay.
a thing to distinguish them from strawberries.
Let's have a little debate here. Do you think blue raspberry, artificial banana, or artificial grape is the worst flavor of the 3?
Artificial banana.
Yeah. Okay.
There.
Good.
But I also hate artificial watermelon. But
yeah.
I love watermelon.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness, man. Honestly, like a slice of watermelon, I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're from. It's literally just juice, but it's fruit and it's good for you. Come on.
The texture when it's like slightly crunchy and it's cold.
Come on.
Shit bangs.
You're speaking my language right now, Noah. Come on.
One thing I'd like, if I could...
Go ahead.
If I could like do one thing when I'm older, or like it needs to happen sooner, but if I could leave school and then maybe help the like education board like change the way they're teaching ag science to be like more. I think there is some changes happening, but not enough.
Right.
Like to change the ag science or agricultural science like curriculum, because it is just so, I don't know.
They teach you what they want you to know.
Yeah, because there's also a lot of the like curriculum is written by the Irish Farming Association.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, have stakes and all these things,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't know. That would be very cool if I could work in that.
I agree. I don't know, man. I could talk about education for hours. I just think if you have a plethora of different viewpoints and they're all good people trying to better the world, creating a curriculum versus 8 or 10 people who all see things the exact same way and they all have the same deficits in their knowledge base,
Yeah.
it's going to turn out a lot better. But people are so scared of change.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, why we can't take trigonometry out of the math curriculum because X, Y, or Z. Fair enough. If you're going into math and you want to be an engineer, you need to understand these things.
Yeah.
But when I'm 16 years old and I've realized that math is not it for me, and it goes between passing this trig test or not graduating high school, then I think the system has to change a little bit for real.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Ireland's education system is changing slowly because it changed since COVID, because we realised, so like basically from 12 to 17, 18, whatever you are,
yeah.
you're like basically your whole schooling goes towards one exam at the end, and then COVID came, that one exam got cancelled, and we were like, oh, how are we going to grade all these kids? Because we have done no like continuous assessment up until this. So they did like estimated grades or calculated grades, whatever they were, and it like fucked over a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people. I got like I don't know. So like the teachers give you how many points you think you should get. So like the max points are like 625 or whatever. That's like your all A's and everything plus extra.
Okay.
And teachers gave us a grade, and then it went into an algorithm that the government had created and it, like bracketed you or whatever.
Right.
My teachers gave me really good grade, what I thought I would get, and then went into the algorithm and I got reduced 46 points, which is a lot compared to that, but that's fine. I got the course I needed.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who got messed up by that.
No.
So they're changing their education system a bit to have more continuous assessment.
Right, and I think the COVID pandemic was a wake-up call for everybody, because it's like the amount of first, second, and third year students that I know now that don't know how to study because all you had to do was show up to your online classes for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's tough because there is weed out courses in every degree.
Absolutely.
Like for me, it was OChem 1, and man, if I did not have the people I had around me to support me through that class, and I did not have an oral exam in my lab final as opposed to having to write on a piece of paper, I don't know if I make it out the other side. But I developed the work habits on how to study properly before the pandemic. So it's not like I needed to learn that while we were stuck in the house. So it's very interesting that everybody's seeing these type of issues on other sides of the world as well, man.
Yeah, like I would almost group myself into the people who, like, I know how to study. I literally was studying for that exam up until, 2 months before, then it got ripped away. So I've done all the work. But getting to college, I've been obviously studying and working, but I haven't had anything that's been monumental that I need to be like, I have to tackle this with regimented study every
however many days or however many hours every day.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of work that comes with it, but I've just been able to kind of take it as it comes. But yeah, this year will be different. This is a big year. This is 30% of my degree going to. So.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear, bro.
Interested. Yeah. I don't know. Get specialised especially. But I know there's going to be some tough classes this year. So, yeah. Looking forward to that.
That's good, bro. Alright, so you've had at least an hour of us talking to think about this last question, bro. So, in the last 6 months of your life, and in the coming 6 months of your life, of the stuff that you're aware of, is there anything in particular that you're extremely grateful for and you want to put out into the world? Or is there anything that you're dreading? You're like, oh my God, my life is about to change. I'm terrified, and you just want to get that off your chest.
I'll start off with the past because that stuff's already happened.
Exactly.
I know what happened, but no, I don't think I have any regrets from the last 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of things that I was grateful for, in the last 6 months was this year. Oh my God.
Yeah, bro.
I was only the start of 2022, but I don't know. I feel like I really made, because like my first year of school was online.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
up
tough.
until Christmas it was kind of like semi-online ish, but like just getting to solidify a lot of like relationships with people in college.
Mm-hmm.
And stuff, like actually getting to meet the people, like
Mm-hmm.
having a bit of university experience.
Mm-hmm.
As I was mentioned earlier, like I'm in the surf club and some of those people are now like my best friends.
That's what I love to hear.
I just getting to hang out with them. They're some of the coolest people
Word.
ever. Like
Word.
so cool. But I don't know. I just really enjoyed an actual semester of college. That's
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah.
Anything else? I don't know. Mine goes blank. But coming up, honestly, I don't think there's anything I'm dreading at
Mhm.
all. And as I mentioned before we recorded, I live my life like 20 minutes at a time.
Mhm.
Kind of exaggerating, but I don't know. I was looking forward to going back to college, new rugby season.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. And
it'll be a full season. Like the
Absolutely.
COVID pandemic should not get in
Yeah.
the way of anything.
yeah, but actually last year our season was ridiculously long. We started early and finished very late.
Mm-hmm.
We finished late because we were doing well,
Right.
thankfully. But normal rugby season, that'll be good. With no like weird restrictions and
Mm-hmm.
stuff.
Mm-hmm. Can't play a full contact sport if you can't fucking touch anybody.
Yeah, but there were some weird ass rules with, I don't know, rugby. You could like play rugby matches, but you couldn't be in the changing room.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a scrum. If you guys know what a scrum is, you're literally head to head like this, like cheek to cheek.
Yeah.
But you couldn't get changed in the changing room.
Yeah, man. And I think it's tough because we are all learning, like especially with this disease, a day at a time.
Yeah.
But also on the other side of it, you really do need to sit down and think. The people who are making these regulations need to live through them to understand if they
Like-
make sense or if they don't.
Oh, some of them make so much sense.
Yep.
Some of them make zero sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They are learning too, but they could do with accepting criticism.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I think if I didn't love it, it would have been impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, insane. So one of my friends is a botanist, and I just want to learn from him so much.
Dude,
It's crazy.
I took a plant science course winter semester this year. I tried to transplant 2 flowers a couple weeks ago. They are so dead. I have so much to learn about flowers and
I
plants
saw you
still.
doing that out there. I was like, I'm sure he knows what he's doing.
Oh, it's okay. I
Okay.
am always willing to learn. And
Yeah.
like the fact like I was watering, I've been like taking care of people's lawns. I know you do not water, especially the leaves of a plant in broad heat, because it's just going to evaporate off and then the leaves are going to close. But I was just going through it right then.
Yeah.
I needed to do something. So I appreciate the fact that you would come over and educate me, but then you would fuck off and let me go do my thing.
Oh, yeah,
So
I
thank
just,
you for
I
that.
just didn't want you to burn through the leaves. of your
No,
plant.
exactly. And I appreciate that. But I don't know. I think a lot of people it's tough for them to admit their ignorance. I don't know, man.
I'm pretty bad for that as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Unless I know.
Yeah.
But if somebody comes over to me and I know, like, I've done this a lot of times, and
Mhm.
sometimes I'm not the most grateful to hear,
Yeah.
you're doing that wrong. But
Right. If you can spin it like...
they're only trying to help.
Yeah, exactly. It changes a lot. Perspective changes a lot.
Their tone depends.
Please don't get me
How
started.
they say it to me.
Yep. Alright, my brother. I think we've been chopping it up for 25 minutes. This is my opportunity to give you to say whatever you want. If there's anything you want to plug, if there's anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to mention by name that you know will be okay with having their name said on the internet, go ahead. like anything you want to put out to the people, because my audience is mainly Canadian, Calgary, Edmonton, those type of places. So this is gonna be awesome for them to hear.
All right, nothing from me, mate, basically, but I'm gonna plug the people I plugged earlier. 49th and Main, great band, kind of indie house music, pop. They actually started making music when they were in Vancouver. My brother was living with them out there. The name of the street was 49th and Main, and that was the little file they had in their computer. They came back and then started recording properly, and just released their debut album, Must Be Nice, streaming on all platforms. Woo.
Go run it up. Go run it up. I
Paddy
absolutely love it.
Paddy and Ben, great dudes, some of the nicest dudes, funniest dudes I know. So yeah,
go support some good people.
Absolutely.
Well, Noah, if you have nothing else to say, I have lots to say. So first of all, I need to say thank you. You took the time. You've made it very clear to me, like, you enjoy interacting with people, but this probably wasn't the easiest thing in the world, because like I know it's hard to answer a bunch of questions over and over about yourself. So genuinely thank you for taking the time.
Been a pleasure.
Second of all, we obviously have half a summer left still, so it's not like we're going anywhere. But I want to thank you for everything that you have taught me since I've got here, and I really hope in some way, shape, or form, some of the interactions we've had has taught you something as well.
Absolutely.
Because I want us to be able to have these connections and these memories for a while. Like this, once it's edited and put out, I'll have this forever, man. And that means the absolute world to me.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I don't know. Learning from you is crazy. You're one of the most, you radiate positivity. It's something I really want to build into my, persona.
Yeah, man. And like, obviously, you can't change. You gotta be who you are. But like, if you can find those role models, whoever they are, however old they are. For example, we have this staff member who is, I think, a year younger than Noah. And he is one of the senior staff members, and he is my check-in. So whenever I'm having an issue throughout the week, whenever I'm having a tough time, I go sit down with him. He's 4 years or 3 years my junior. He's probably one of the most stoic, intelligent human beings I've ever met in my life.
This guy, and he's like, this guy's 25 years old.
Exactly. And it's like, I can look at him being my junior, and still I'm willing to admit, like, in a lot of ways, you're a better man than I am, and I would love to learn from you. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Awesome.
Can't wait to spend the rest of the summer with you guys.
Yeah, bro. I appreciate you taking the time, man, genuinely.
You're sweaty as fuck.
And that's okay. For those of you listening, I am not going to be putting this out anytime soon. Work is my priority. School is my priority this summer, but you should be excited because there's a lot of beautiful people, and if I can convince them to do more of these, I am going to. So thank you for listening to this episode of What Makes You Happy, and as always, I'll see you